Hey FBC family, I'm excited to be able to just share with you a little glimpse into the trip that I just returned from. For those of you who don't know, I've been in Pakistan for the last 2.5, almost 3 weeks. I had the opportunity to go to Pakistan on a mission trip with a ministry called Worship Quest Ministries. And it was an opportunity to go and encourage and equip the church in Pakistan. Just right off the bat, let me tell you, Pakistan, as some of you may have even thought, is that safe? What does that look like? Isn't that a Muslim nation? Pakistan is predominantly Muslim nation. And what that means is evangelism is actually illegal. And so our trip, our mission, our time there was not to go and try to evangelize and share the gospel with Muslims. Rather, it was to go to Pakistan and encourage and equip the church there. Worship Quest Ministries has something called Worship Quest Academy. Worship Quest Ministries as a whole exists to equip worship leaders, pastors, and church members in biblical foundations of worship, to be intentional and thoughtful about what it is we do when we gather as the church. And part of that ministry, they do something called, or host something called Worship Quest Academy. Now, Worship Quest Academy is a 5-month-long hybrid studying opportunity. For 5 months, students watch videos online and join for Zoom meetings and gather in small groups, have mentorship as a part of it, and at the end of that 5 months, they gather in person for a retreat. Now, this retreat was in Pakistan. About 60 worship leaders and pastors for 5 months studied watching videos, joining Zoom meetings, gathering in groups, and studied what it looks like to worship. So the main thing that we were doing in country was gathering to lead a retreat at the end of this time. For various reasons, some weren't able to finish the studies, some couldn't join the retreat for financial reasons or prior obligations. We had about 37 to 40 students who we then graduated and were able to give a certificate in worship leadership to. Now that retreat looked like leading music worship and teaching and preaching and encouraging these students to then go back into their churches and serve faithfully. This trip to Pakistan was more than just a weekend retreat, of course. Our host, as it were, was a ministry called the Tehillim School of Church Music and Worship. Now, although Pakistan is a Muslim nation predominantly, there is a Christian population. There are churches, we visited one church that has about 6,000 members. The Tehillim School of Church Music and Worship has been around since 2003 and has taught music lessons and worship and thinking through how do we worship. And so we were able to partner with them and join in various churches and worship conferences and symposiums across the nation of Pakistan, thinking through and encouraging people to think through how do we worship. The church in Pakistan predominantly worships through psalms. They sing Punjabi psalms. Now, the language spoken in Pakistan is Urdu, so we had a translator, and the leader of the Tehillim, the person who started the Tehillim school, Eric Sarvar, he actually was on the trip with us, on the team with us, and he helped translate for us. He was networking and connecting us. We got to visit and be a part of all sorts of different church opportunities and communities. We were gathering with Anglicans and Presbyterians, and it was just a beautiful time to see the church in Pakistan. Our typical day looked something like we would wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and then go to whatever worship opportunity for the day. And we would join with a church or community, sometimes a whole village even, and we would lead music worship, and we would teach and preach and encourage and love on these communities. Pakistan is, I think I heard, number 8 most persecuted nation in the world for Christians. And so our role there was not to go and share the gospel so much as go in to encourage our brothers and sisters who are being persecuted. Though Christianity is legal, evangelism is illegal, Christianity is legal, but many Christians are seen as second-class citizens. So it was a joy to gather together with brothers and sisters and to learn music and songs in Urdu as well as to be able to just encourage and love on our brothers and sisters. Thank you for those of you who supported me and our team through prayer or financial means. Thank you for being a part of what God is doing in the church, in our brothers and sisters across the world. At the end of our time, we actually stopped through Dubai and had a couple of days in Dubai, and we got to interact with the Pakistani diaspora in Dubai. So the Urdu-speaking Pakistani church in Dubai. And what a joy it was to even experience what that looked like. Pakistan and Dubai are very different places, and yet we got to interact with the Pakistani church in both settings. If you see me at some point, I would love to share more with you about this trip. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayer. Continue to pray for the church in Pakistan. We got to join with some seminary and Christian college leaders and talk about how important it is to think about worship and to study that in seminaries. And that was just a seed that was planted. There's amazing things that God is doing in that nation. And I'm excited that I got to see and be a part of some of that. I hope that you'll continue to pray for Pakistan. And who knows, there may be an opportunity down the line for us to go as a church community again